Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is Wednesday, May the 6th, and we are back over here just kind of where we left off with the plasma mixer. Now, where I left off yesterday was I crafted this, which was a big milestone, but can't actually use it because what I didn't realize going in is this only functions off the wireless network. Now, I did look into the wireless network after I posted yesterday's video, and apparently it's as simple as upgrading the capacitors in my main battery to be UHV or higher. Now, the problem is I could not craft these because it was basically, it's almost like a resource check. I was actually short on the LAB6 rods. It's like lanthanum, long lanthanum, or not, lanthanum hexaboride rods. So I was short on these. I know this is above the threshold now, but so I did have to overhaul this a little bit so I could craft more. And then at the same time, what these are used for is the beamline. And one of the ways to the other ways to to reduce the load that's needed for that is to upgrade the beamlines. Now, they don't necessarily upgrade in terms of like power or anything because they are what they are, and that's like this one is. And if the only way you could upgrade is by like multiplying them, and as you see, I did not multiply more of them. There's still just the 5 that you need to cover everything. But what I did do, because I kind of had slipped my mind, was I changed all the recipes. Instead of using, I was using these, the Americonium ones, where we get 128. I jumped them all the way to the photonically enhanced wafers, so we get 512. Now, these were a little slow for me. Nothing like crazy, like honest, but I did decide to upgrade them first before I started messing around with everything. As well as the Americonium wafers, because you do use them in those recipes. Those wafers were just as simple as I just moved the recipes over to this guy, and one of the things I had to do because I was out of channels over here was just add more channels. I split the lower half and the upper half, and now there's a lot more room for expansion, and if I want to set up more tiers of like order of priorities and stuff, I can do that, so that'll be cool. But yeah, I just moved all the wafer recipes over here, as well as like the really old wafer recipe we don't really use anymore, but it's there in case for some reason a recipe calls for it. The next thing was the actual photonic wafers, not the enhanced ones. And like I said, I wanted to make sure that the base doesn't get hung on them. So as you can see, for this battery, I finally brought laser power in. I had kind of been putting that off. So I stopped putting that off, brought lasers into this one, which feeds this whole tower. So most of it's still going to be fed off of this red stuff, and then anything that I need to go really fast, I'll jump up and start pulling off this laser line. I didn't want to go too crazy because I'm on a mission to get that plasma maker working. So right now it just comes up to this floor, and then specifically feeds over to these 3 transformers and these laser engravers, which formerly were these 3 laser engravers. Now all the recipes are over here at 64 EU versus the old 1 amp of UHV. So they are substantially faster. And then I think that was it. Oh no, and like I said, I actually upped the storage for the lanthanum, which was another part of I'm glad I redid my main controller because I can stop stressing about channels, because one of the problems over here was I didn't have enough channels, but now I just added an extra 32 channels to this area, so I was able to up all this. Although I did end up making this a little bit of a subnetwork. Before, it was running off of Ender IO conduit logic and then being stored in drawers. I moved it up so that everything's being stored in ME. So now, when I would have been at yesterday, the system was paused because it was at 65,000, now up to 93. I think it said it needed 73 to craft those capacitors when I looked earlier, but from there, I also upped all the recipes. Now, on top of swapping out everything for the using the photonically enhanced wafer, the other thing I did was I changed how I set up my patterns to make myself not go insane running all of them. So before, I used this formula where, like, say for this NPIC one, I looked up how much time, how much mask uses, how many rough rods I would need, roughly how many rods, and then I added like 10 to make it work. And then this was just to let me know what the result of the pattern should be. But you don't need to do most of that. You honestly just need the mask uses and the results per mask use, which now on the photonically ones go from 128 to 512, so four times more per. So some of the recipes are crazy. Like the lower tier ones where you get like 200 uses per mask, you get literally like 100,000 of the wafers back per run. So that's cool. But we didn't have to worry about this anymore because we upped it. I was thinking about it on my walk earlier at work, and then I was looking at the wiki, and it was right. Because you don't need to worry about the length rods. My whole concern was that if you do a stocking input bus, it's just always going to run. But there literally is a very simple way around it. All you got to do is on the input bus up here, you just put a item detector. In this case, this one's to channel 2001. And when there is one item over there, meaning there's a recipe to run, it kicks on all the machines. And originally my idea was just to put on this, and then I saw the wiki has it on all 3 machines, and it makes sense to me because if, say, this one power fails or runs out of coolant for some reason, this being here, the next time a recipe tries to trigger, should turn the machine back on without just like leaving everything off. Say it like power fails in the middle of the night or something, or while running a big recipe, or there's a lag spike in the server that causes some weirdness with the export buses. So yeah, I went through and redid all the recipes, including the recipes I hadn't set up yet, and even one for a future use, which I don't even use yet, which is the living SOC. So living crystal. Like I set these ones up. I don't even use these yet. I'm not really sure what they're for. I'm sure they're for something, but they're set up and I can technically craft them now if I need them. So that should make it so I can craft the capacitor. The only thing I need to go through is for the crystal SLC. I noticed I still have this is the only recipe that I still can do something better with. Specifically for this part, we've got this thing right here, these exquisite ceruleum doped luteum aluminum garnet. So I need to do these ones. I need to go through and set up a little thing for this, or maybe I'll just put them on autocraft. I don't know, but that gives us, instead of 4, gives us 64. So like, was that 16 more, 18 more? Math is, yeah, 16 more. Why, I don't know why that was goofy for me. More per like run, so that's really good. So that'll be something I want to do, but it's not really what was holding me back at the moment. So it's just, I will do this because these are then used to go into these, which are then used to go in these living crystal chips, which I'm sure go into something. Looks like it goes into cheaper LUV circuits, so part of speeding up the wetware and what have you. But yeah, so I got all those set up, and then the very last little thing I did for it, so I did change all these to stocking input buses, specifically on this network right here, which now I'm thinking about it. The only thing I wanted to change on this was I wanted to craft one of these. One of the more up-to-date neutronium infused controllers, just so it powers better. But yeah, this is a nice and big upgrade. I'm excited. It should make things run smoother, and the goal now for tomorrow should be going for the wireless network with these UHV capacitors. Let's see if there's anything else I need to address before I can start crafting. No, I can't. Oh. 753. It is a huge craft, so actually let's do this. So I need my big one. Yeah. Oh, come on. Alright. There we go. So I'll get those crafting, and then I'll set up the wireless network. We'll see if there's any like excessively slow things going on with this craft, and work towards the plasma mixer so we can move onwards and upwards. 1.5 million of these things, which is crazy because I had 1 million in storage already. Tons of masks. Yeah, this will take a while. These capacitors are huge. But yeah, appreciate it for watching. I hope everybody had a good day, and I will see you tomorrow or Friday. Have a good one. Bye.